Well, hello everyone. My name is Matthew Narrance, and I'm a senior product designer on the knowledge team here at GitLab. And I'm actually pretty excited to talk about this. I'm just going to be going over what design management is, kind of what we've been doing recently, what the results have been, and just where we're going in the future. So, what is design management? It's a set of tools that allows people to make human-centered decisions through planning and collaboration. And although it is a set of tools, we really see it as more than just those tools. It's more than the design view and the collection of designs on an issue. We really see it as an end-to-end workflow that a designer would take from uploading wireframes into GitLab for feedback all the way through reviewing MRs and implementation. And we also see it as a means for developers to communicate with one another in a visual way. So it's not just restricted to designers uploading designs. We're not quite there yet, but we're iterating towards that vision. So the big question, why are we building this? In the tech industry, the ratio of designers to engineers is growing pretty rapidly, and those designers need tools to support the collaboration that happens. This increased ratio is also evidence that design really should be part of the DevOps lifecycle because companies are becoming more human-centered in their approach to building software. Currently, the typical designer tool set includes many different solutions. For example, Sketch and Figma for wireframing and prototyping, InVision for handoff, Jira for requirements and collaboration, Confluence for documentation, Abstract for sketch file versioning, Slack, and then Live website for checking implementation. And this workflow really doesn't serve designers as first-class citizens. And it also means you have problems with multiple sources of truth for designers and the information that developers and project managers need. One example, at a previous job where I worked, we had a big effort to improve our UX writing, and it basically resulted in a Word document that was hundreds and hundreds of pages long. So lots of different tools all over the board. And we've probably all been there. It's not fun. But we think at GitLab that we can simplify this workflow, which to us is really revolutionary. It means that a designer could come in with one tool, Figma, and basically GitLab would take care of the entire rest of that process. So less tools are needed, and the designer is really present end to end from wireframing all the way through the visual review, the visual review of the implemented features. And honestly, in my short time here, where design management is currently, it's by far the easiest workflow I've ever had to deal with as a designer. Also, it means we're introducing a new persona into GitLab, which ultimately means more users on the platform, which we hope will eventually translate into more revenue for GitLab. But not just designers. We're also looking to make these tools work for developers and project managers as well. So I'll talk about this a little bit later, but design management can really be extended to uploading charts, diagrams, schematics, and the developers and PMs would have the same collaborative features that designers have. And these personas make up a huge chunk of our users. So if we can nail it, it's really valuable. So what has happened in recent milestones? So on the side, on visibility, we made some of these changes. In 13.0, we moved design management to core. We've increased visibility on issues. So many of you have noticed that designs used to be in a design tab, and now they are up front underneath the issue description. We've also included mentions in design comments in project and user activity, as well as in to-dos and notifications. And then on the UX side, we've introduced a lot of features to get parity with other tools in the market, such as reordering designs, resolving design comments. We've added Figma and Sketch plugins, and so many more features. Also, being able to mark to-dos is done. But there's been so many just improvements that we've made on the UX side. to get parity with these design tools. And honestly, we're super excited about these features, and we're excited for you guys to try them out. So what were the results of some of these changes? At the start of the year, we were seeing anywhere from 0 to 10 design uploads per day, and that was purely GitLab designers. We are now seeing between 500 and 800 designs uploaded per day, and that's not counting GitLab. If you add GitLab designers, it increases by 40 to 50 per day. The spike that you're seeing, the 35,200, a portion of that was due to a bug where every image pasted into a comment was also being added to the designs. But even when that bug was fixed, we're still seeing that we're much higher than we were after making some of these changes, like moving to core and becoming more visible on issues. Another result, there was an awesome blog article where Figma basically featured our plugin, and we currently have over 600 installs on our Figma plugin. So super exciting. And we've been seeing a little bit of unsolicited feedback through Twitter and also internally in Slack. So thank you for that. We're excited that you're using it and that you're noticing some of these features. And on the not so positive side, we had a few not so happy developers who had some complaints about when we made the designs more visible on issues. This feedback came through in some issues opened by some community users. I don't know that this was totally expected, but it was somewhat expected as we were making a big change and we were moving things around. And we're not disheartened by this because we're still in MVC mode. We are still iterating towards what we think is the ideal implementation. However, we're appreciative of feedback like this because it helped us learn some lessons. Most importantly, we should have probably used feature flags to test some of these changes before releasing them. So what are our future plans? Currently, we are sitting at minimal viability, and for anyone who needs a refresher, that means it's available in the product, but may not be ready for production use yet. So what we've done is we've basically built this MVC flow where you can go from Figma, where your design is, uploading through drag and drop or a plugin, and attach your design to an issue where you can collaborate and comment on that design. So this is kind of our minimal workflow that we've been dogfooding right now. But where we really plan on making an impact is expanding this flow to the entire process, all the way through epics and merge requests, so that your designs go with you all the way through checking implementation. And we're potentially even looking at making designs project level objects. We have lots of plans for just general UX improvements, and like I said before, getting parity with some of the other tools in the market. So here's just a few examples that people might be excited about. In the design view, being able to collapse the right sidebar so that designers can focus on the design itself and move everything out of the way and then bring it back when needed. Being able to show the author of a design rather than just the participants, so you know exactly who to ping when you have questions. Being able to launch Figma from the design so that you can edit that design with one click. Being able to create sections amongst your designs to organize them better. There's been a lot of improvements to the drop zone, empty state, and uploading, which haven't been implemented yet. An inspect mode where you can upload the full Figma frame and be able to click and see margins and paddings and things like that. And then potentially a dark mode for the design view to lower the prominence of the toolbars and increase the prominence of the design. And I've linked all these issues here so you can grab the slides and go check those out if you'd like. We do still have some open questions. These are things that we plan on hitting during problem validation. But having designs in review apps would be one example where the designers could be more involved with checking implementation, having their design there to compare to what was implemented. Also, like I mentioned before, extending the design management features to developers and project managers, we're looking at potentially changing the nomenclature. So should it be called designs, or should it be called something more general like attachments that would be more inclusive for non-designer personas? And then being able to convert any embedded image, whether it's in an issue description or a comment, that when you click on that image, it opens in some sort of minimal design view, so that we have better image viewing user experience. Whereas right now, you click on an image and it just opens in a browser tab. This would also cause our design view analytics to go through the roof, as people would be using the design view for every image. But we really want to nail that experience before we put it out there. And then just a few others that you can see there. So please continue dogfooding this. We super appreciate the feedback, whether it's positive or constructive. We love that you're using it, and we love hearing what you think about it. It's been really helpful to drive our direction and help us nail down some of these features. So yeah, thank you. And a special thanks to Marcel and Kristen for providing me some of the data for this slideshow.
Awesome. That is some really exciting stuff. I love this feature. So that roadmap has got some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions or anything? Yeah, for sure. Any questions for Matthew?
I just have a comment, which is thank you for your focus on the usage data. That's where we're supposed to be focused. And it's interesting and compelling for us to understand how usage is growing. So really appreciated that.